of their Røkkr hardpoint sitting at 1-1, but the last time that they played it, 250 to 168 by Carolina, who just got eliminated. So I think enough for the stats, man. I'm just excited to get into this gladiator battle.
Let's see. It's a story that has been written a number of times, but a brand new chapter. The Green Wall revitalizing OpTic. Boston, let me hear ya. We got OpTic versus FaZe. Let's lock in and let's get it on.
And already off the rip, if you are OpTic Texas, on a map like Subbase, you prefer the opposite side. Always trying to control the 3-story, but if you're winning the gunnies, you're able to flip it with the gun. They get 3 dead, the spawns now flip. Atlanta FaZe forced to break.
Cellium very aware of the circumstances, currently overpassing this first hill. But the lay of the land looking good for the Green Wall. Cellium dealt with topside P2, so time continues to tally. Now the subs for Atlanta getting involved, but can't fully break. We go a little bit back and forth. Final 1v1 for the scrap, which Drazah will take.
And Drazah, you know what he's been doing wonders for this Atlanta FaZe roster. I feel like both of these teams on the offseason, they get some better players, and they're going to be able to have chows the entire time. Dashy finds 2, but OpTic are still holding on to the preferred side. You want to stay alive as long as you can. Trades going down towards the middle of the map, but it's all about that P2. OpTic are going to be there first.
Only one member to possibly make a mess of this for FaZe. That's number 6 in white, aBeZy. And he's kind of stuck right now over towards P5. Does find Dashy up top and will stun himself forward. Little pinch play being set up, but the trade's good for OpTic. Spawns will move around a little bit, and the hardpoint will go neutral at the same breath.
Oh, now OpTic have to work their way out of warehouse side. You have one player sneaking his way up through mid, but the rest of Atlanta FaZe have the cutoffs. Simp, that's a big kill to take him down from top snow, but now you have to execute this break. You have to try to flip these spawns. Dashy works his way up the left side. He finds one, but it's still better trades coming in from Atlanta FaZe. They are still in control.
28 seconds remaining. Pred not quite able to get through the P2 window. Shotzzy, last one left, waiting for help. The rest of Atlanta have completely reinforced from the back. Kills still go back and forth. Is there enough of a chance here for OpTic to actually break through this? Atlanta just getting back to the hard point so darn quick, and the kills continue to come through for FaZe.
They're just coming out on top in these trade fights. Simp already sitting at 10-5, 15 engagements, and we're only in the second hard point. But Atlanta FaZe are finding the kills to hold the right spawn. So you see OpTic Texas, now we have to start hitting a couple routes. Dashy through the left, Kenny through the right side, a big one-on-one across the map. Kenny wins it. So now if you are Atlanta FaZe, these next gunfights can cost you these spawns.
Yeah, it's just these exit kills haven't been particularly great for OpTic to this point. Hardpoint stays neutral for now as Atlanta's rotating over from 2 quickly to 3. Shotzzy up top, just able to find the last shots in towards Drazah, then heads down, finds himself a double, and Shotzzy coming up big for OpTic as the rotation gets locked in.
And every single time OpTic play against Atlanta, when they find success, it's through the back of what Shotzzy is able to get done. A 1.3 every single time he plays Atlanta. And that leads to OpTic Texas finding the break at P3. This 25 seconds is going to be theirs. You still have Atlanta FaZe applying pressure over towards P2. They want to try to hold that next hill from the front.
Really good shots from aBeZy. Makes life easy for Cellium to make sure that scrap time does go neutral. Over towards tunnel side. Drazah opens things up for Atlanta. Dashy still in position. Pred nearby. So OpTic still have numbers for this rotation. Can he get the second? Oh, big from Bruce. That will get the lockdown in. Trophy systems up. Now it's just down to reading how Atlanta's trying to set up this break.
Dashy's going to do what he does best. Soak up that hill time and make sure no one is going to contest that point. You still have Pred roaming around the middle of the map, just trying to be the cutoff man, but now he gets taken care of. All of Atlanta FaZe have to spam tax through the front side of the tunnel. Do they have enough trophies to slow this one down? Kenny is going to get hit by one, but it's all out pressure from Atlanta through the front.
Here it comes, big flood, 3 members large. Drazah getting the opener, but how about Shotzzy and Dashy? Leaving things up to the last 2 members remaining, and OpTic will hold on. 30 seconds still remain. Atlanta trying to get back into mid-map, but Shotzzy there to beat him now on 3 in a row.
And this is the perfect play right here from OpTic. You find a clean 4 dead. Now you have to be aggressive up on the map, and now Shotzzy just has to play his life. He finds another one onto aBeZy. He's able to finish the kill, but not able to stay alive. So if you are Kenny in a crucial position, try to rotate over towards that P5 side. OpTic, they flip the spawns. Drazah, you have to make something happen here.
Trying to play his life, stun, locks him up, and that'll be enough for Shotzzy to follow up, find the elimination. OpTic with numbers, not just on the old time, but also trying to get up towards the high ground, which Pred will clear aBeZy out of. Quick transition from OpTic and a huge stretch on the scoreboard for the team in green.
So far, this P4 to P5 chain has worked out flawlessly for OpTic Texas. You're now forcing all of Atlanta FaZe to overextend, to try to fight through middle. They find those initial 2 kills. Can they find anything else to lead towards the break? At least they flip the spawns, but it's still OpTic Texas contesting on this side of the map. The final 2 players dropped, and that's going to lead to an Atlanta FaZe break.
Yeah, FaZe swarming on both sides of the hard point, but with that told, OpTic still find themselves themselves in. 30 seconds remaining. Off the respawn, Kenny with the tally, 1 long-range shot. That's going to be 3 dead. Drazah, last one left alive, and he does not have enough help to actually get into the hill. So this is already still good for OpTic, keeping this hardpoint neutral.
Just maintaining that side of the map. You want to hold 3-story for the 4 out of the 5 hills that we have, and as long as you're trading efficiently, Kenny keeps repositioning around that top snow. He turned up, sitting at 16 and 11 on a 3 streak. They're finding all the kills. They're getting this remaining junk time, but now you have to focus that long side. You need to maintain those spawns.
All about the long con here for FaZe, trying to play through water side of the map, get themselves set up like you mentioned on the west side of the map, and the spawns will come in just as Drazah opened up the hard point. 20-point game or so here. FaZe still trying to float around the middle of the map, but they're just not reading where Texas hits coming from, and with that, Atlanta trying to lock in spawns are once again a little bit slow getting over towards the first hill.
Now if you are Cellium in a crucial position towards top node, he finds that kill onto Kenny. Now he's going to be set up for the pinch. Just got to take down these last couple of players. That's 3. Next one is Fred, and you get him taken care of. Cellium 15 and 7 on a 4 streak, in full control of the map currently. But you see the player that sneaks out, it's Kenny, to try to make something happen for OpTic.
And he's just playing his life on the bottom side of the map, and actually Shotzzy on the other side also gets through. Atlanta trying to set up the Iron Curtain defense towards P2, but they have a couple of holes in the setup. Over towards the scrap time. OpTic able to get on, so 12 seconds go their way. Still have about a 20-point game as they rotate to 2 and tallying the minimap. 4 players for FaZe already set up, looking to lock this thing in.
Oh man, and they were playing such a tight setup, but they clutch up in those fights, and now that's a clean 3 dead. The last player up is gonna be Pred. But this is another situation where Atlanta FaZe can get themselves right back into the game. It was a great P2 hold the first time, and they're doing it again.
It's all about if Atlanta can hold, they put themselves in a good spot, but OpTic still finding kills. Prime time to listen in to see how OpTic set up this break.
I'm on the back. I need help. One on the back. I'll see him. He has to be back left, Ken. Back left. Nice hit. Splitting out. Turn around. One on top. I'm in the back. I'm living. They get my long, bro. They get my long. Yeah, live. I'm gonna wrap you. I was laying on the back. Push it. The other push. I'm gonna go long. Stay alive. I'm hitting outside. I'm hitting long. You're right in front of us, Brendan. I'm coming. One shot back crate. One's in the room. One shot back still. They spawn up you one. Back crate. Nice. PT. Forklift dead. Long. Long aBeZy. One shot aBeZy long. Absolutely long. I push it down, bro. Absolutely long. Dark drop. I'm one shot, bro. I'm on the cross. Mid, literally both. I'm on the cross. That's literally the game. I got it. Spawn long. You can just spawn. One me. That's it. I'll get it. Once close here. We get P2. He's in P2 still, so. I got P2. Yeah, what is P2? There's 2-0. Alright, 2-0. I heard that. We need to try to push it right, look. This is the game. Let's win this over. One to drop on the heady, back P5. On the P5, like fast. Okay, we gotta pinch outside. Yeah. Once P5. MC P5, front P2 snow. Yeah. I'll see the guy. We're hitting the front. So. I'll see the guy P5. He could have been like front. Pinch the guy in the back end. I'll start in the bloom, I think. One to the back, still draw somewhere. Okay, one time. He's still hold first. And back on me, what's yo? He's
tough stretch between the second and third hard points. You heard the call near the end. I'm just saying this is the game right here. They need to find a way to get over towards 4, but late in these sub bases, this is where Atlanta starts to turn up.
This is usually where they start having that clutch gene in them. 6-0. And HPs that are within 30 points. And so far, great hold in towards the P4. Throwing a couple shoulders. Simp is going to get taken down. Kenny finds him. Fred finds a third. It's all on to Drazah. Pistol out. That's not enough. OpTic Texas, they get the break. And with only 30 seconds left, you just need to trap them in towards the back. You have Cellium working his way through top comms. This is a big kill if you can take him down. Kenny finds it. OpTic holding strong.
2 for 1 go the trades. Dashy still holding things up. Just Simp, last one left alive, and he feels like he has to try to hit the scrap time. And there's the trap. Atlanta still spawning over towards stock side. P5 going over towards this front warehouse position, and Texas again dominating the high ground.
We just have to be able to read this overextension. Drazah already finds himself in towards bottom middle maze. No, all of OpTic, they know that they're not going to attack towards warehouse. They have to overextend. A big trade comes in from Dashy, but it's still no one on the point. They want to make sure they find all the kills before someone commits towards the time.
The AR's really starting to light things up here for OpTic Texas. Atlanta able to get over towards 5 for now, but we're still back and forth, kill for kill we go. Finally though, Texas able to swing things back over their direction. Problem is, their spawns are so far away. Atlanta looking at this last 30 seconds saying, we need it.
Even with the spawns being so far away, neither squad is getting any time. OpTic are holding the crossfires. Atlanta FaZe trying to find an opening, and that two-piece might be just enough. Simp sitting already at 30. He finds 31, but Soul Man is now Kenny. He falls. The break comes in from Atlanta. Finally, someone gets on the point, but Dash is there for a nade. It's still Atlanta FaZe's time.
Last hit from the last two players for OpTic over to the front side of warehouse, and Cellium meets him with the Renetti. How about a tie game? Boston 191-82 for now. Heading back over to P1. Both teams focused on getting these spawns locked in and the rotation to try to surround.
And the good thing is that Kenny and Dash just went on across the map. They find those initial two fights, so Atlanta FaZe, those two players will come off spawn. They're now going to realize we're on the bad side. OpTic Texas, they cannot win it on this P1, but they flip the spawns and have the opportunity. You just have to hold down these power positions, Cellium in a crucial one towards Snap. So hit some tax. Let's get him out of this spot.
This is all about, did the game plan for OpTic pan out? This is their map selection. Still 30 seconds to collect. Atlanta's got to fight the war on both fronts. Need to hit through ult while also focusing the rotation, and Kenny is shutting it down. Another double comes through for him. Trade still allowing Atlanta a chance to fight back, but they just aren't getting the players out of the hard point. Every second is a crucial one here for OpTic.
OpTic, they're making it all happen. They're trading efficiently, making sure they're soaking that time. Dashy sitting at 2 minutes in towards the HP, with only 10 seconds left. Atlanta FaZe, no, we got to get through P5. We have to push around Propane's side. Pred, the first man to try to cut them off. Puts down a couple shots, but his teammates are going to be here to help him.
aBeZy gets around the back. What does this do to spawns for OpTic? They still spawn in just as the hard point opens up, but the kills from the side doors looking decent. Pred on 3 in a row. Still into the hard point. 242 to 188. Atlanta looking for the break. Got the pistol. Now back over to the Renetti once again. 247, 188. And nobody from Atlanta is going to be able to touch the flawless map 1 record, squandered with the monkey wrench pick from OpTic Texas.
We were questioning OpTic's decision to come out and play a map that they have not yet played on the season. But you best believe, every day in practice, they are getting reps on sub-base. Perfect game plan overall to start off 1-0 in this series. Because Atlanta FaZe, they were undefeated in map 1s. They were 8-0. Whenever they win that map 1, they usually tend to win this series. But if you give it to OpTic Texas, that's when it all turns around. And just the perfect play, man. To play a map like sub-base, you're thinking about the strengths for Atlanta FaZe. It's usually through their SMGs. They now have to run ARs. So that makes it a little bit more uncomfortable for them. And through all the chaos, OpTic Texas were able to rise out on top.
I got to point to the assist totals here for OpTic. Look how much help is coming across the board. 12, 11, 12, and 8. Sure, the assist numbers aren't bad for FaZe on the other side, but you could definitely see the influence of the team play coming through. Like you mentioned, a lot of good crossing routes being locked in by players like Kenny and Dashy, getting a lot of damage while also tailing a number of assists. So really good opening play. And again, the curveball that comes through, just trying to trick Atlanta a little bit in the map veto process. It works out beautifully for OpTic to start off the series.
And now you're feeling really comfortable if you are OpTic Texas.
Absolutely.
You're up 1-0 versus a team like Atlanta FaZe. I know you're going against the best search and destroy team in the game, but you are playing a map that you are really familiar with in map number 2. And just the way that they played in map number 1, you've seen what the ARs are doing. Dashy is soaking time, getting a couple kills, but what Kenny is able to do on the map, he finds himself towards top snow. He finds himself towards top comms as well, and he's also the guy hitting those deep routes to play those spawns. Kenny just played a crucial part to why they found success in map 1.
Rotation battles, if we get this thing to 4, rotation battles are going to be where we're really looking at, because both Cell and Dashy both have been great, not just statistically in the KD, but how they move around the map, what they're setting up their team for is all about trying to ride between hard point to hard point. And yeah, I think it's more importantly for this map, with the spawns not having moved between 2 and 3 yet with the hill placement, OpTic did a really nice job of understanding what the game plan for FaZe is in hard point and almost beating them at their own tricks.
And then usually at this moment in the game, Atlanta FaZe find something different inside of them. They find a couple kills. They're able to try to clutch on up towards the very end, but OpTic, again, around that P1 HP, trade after trade after trade, and with them spawning on the preferred side, they're also trading and gaining that hill time, so it makes it a lot more difficult for Atlanta FaZe to make a decision on what they want to do. Do we get them off this P1? Do we play for the spawns? And at that point, it was just too late. OpTic take game 1.
Yeah. But here's the good news for Atlanta fans as we start to look over towards the search and destroy. It's been by far one of Atlanta FaZe's best overall modes throughout the entirety of the year, and it's happening on both sides of the bomb. In particular, we're looking at the opening duel percentages. There is no one, it feels like in the game right now, better than finding opening kills than players like Cellium. His record is great, but also the same point, they also can get done with their SMGs. aBeZy and Simp, super aggressive, often the engagers, and they're often coming out on top of those fights.
And they've been doing it for years, man.
Yeah.
Those guys have been getting it done in this mode, search and destroy, for years to come. Even before they were pro players, they were grinding S&D tournaments, so they know exactly what they need to do.
Yep. And now looking at this is a rematched map here between these two squads the first time they had played. And I think for OpTic, it's not just the fact that we're going to see both the invasion here in the search, but potentially for map 4. But looking at their control, we are going to get high rise again, which did not really go all that well for OpTic when they played Atlanta the first time online. But their attack is super good. And when you look at the high rise, what that could possibly lead them towards, you're looking at all the different records and how they get it done on offense. It's not just by kills. They're capping points like crazy. That could be big for them.
And that's big because, you know, on your attacking rounds, you need to make sure you're slaying. You want to take chances at gaining any segments, but the difference for them is on the defense. You have to be able to slay with the best in Atlanta.
On the other side, though, for Atlanta, there's I've got 5 map losses is what we're talking about.
Man.
An unbelievable record overall. However, the thing is, it's not just happening in one place or the other. Atlanta's getting it done all over the place. And I think in particular, we saw in the last couple of weeks that FaZe were squaring up against what they consider to be lesser teams and playing maps that they had not necessarily been, I will say, as comfortable on as compared to what we saw in the beginning of the year.
And I think for Atlanta FaZe, the fact that they're looking like this is due to the addition of Drazah. Like, we're talking about a guy that can get it done in every single mode. It does not matter. And now with him on the roster, it enables the rest of the players to go out there and be themselves. So they've been having success in every mode, but now they need to rely on that backbone S&D to not go down 2-0.
It was 6-3 last time that we saw these two teams square up. And in that particular matchup, Atlanta looked comfortable, like we continue to talk about on both sides. However, Shotzzy has been looking completely revitalized on stage. In Miami's game, he was dominant from start to finish, putting up the numbers that we normally expect. So can he have a repeat performance here? It's OpTic on the offense first, and early eyes aimed over towards the B site.
Shotzzy's the playmaker, man. The reason why Atlanta were able to beat him online is because they soloed out Shotzzy majority of those rounds. You take care of that guy, and then you force everybody else from OpTic Texas to slow on down. But into the attacks, Atlanta have no trophy systems to work with, so they just open this crossover towards B. The smoke's going to go down. Full bomb site control right now for OpTic.
Good stun check coming out from Drazah. Also cooks up a nade. The nade will not touch, though. So Shotzzy just playing a little bit further forward, seeing if he can catch contact on an aggressive defensive retake. Not to happen yet, though. Also keep your eye on the minimap because there's a lot of mixiness that can happen here at mid-tank.
And they gave him the cross as well, so the bomb's going to get planted for free. It's going to be a 44 retake for Atlanta FaZe, and they pop the smoke through mid-cut. Simp finds the first. The trade is there, and now it's a 3v2.
That is an unbelievable defensive retake smoke coming out. Atlanta completely disguises their attempt through mid, and now Dashy deep has to try to work this alongside Threat. First couple of shots will tag Drazah, the first defensive contestant, trying to lock things over towards the tank side. No one has hopped as of yet, and this is all about, is there going to be an actual battle for this? Cellium gets the first, trade comes out, Pred in trouble, but he's got the rival 9, able to take down a second. This will be a 1v3, but Cell pushes him off, and there's plenty of time for the defuse.
It's a great retake right there from Atlanta. Starts with Simp finding that first blood. We saw that very play in the first entire map that we've seen from Atlanta FaZe on Invasion. He popped the smoke and ended up finding a 4-piece, but at least he gets one. He sets up aBeZy to find the second, and then no trophy systems to work with. OpTic try to play it from broken. They just slowly get picked apart. Atlanta FaZe strong on defense after they get the first blood, and they show it there.
And that's the big key, I think, for this match in particular, kind of looking at where OpTic have been good in search and destroy. It has been by way of collecting opening first bloods on offense. On the flip side, though, Atlanta, off their objective play has been unbelievable, both getting the bomb down and holding it as well as retaking. So already the pattern's starting to come through just a touch as Atlanta take a lot of their focus again over towards B, but there is an idea here from Cellium to try to get this long range battle with Dashy. Both players see one another, but none worse for wear.
Just some information gained early into the round, and now with Kenny putting down a couple shots, Atlanta know they're both the ARs are spread across the map, but now do you read the positioning of Shotzzy? He loves himself some broken. This is where he usually makes plays.
Going 1 for 1 would be good. Getting a second could be better, though. And the first kill comes through very quickly and very cleanly. The rest of OpTic still kind of flooded around, making sure Shotzzy stays safe. And, oh, boy, he's looking to get super aggressive. aBeZy does trade this back to a 3v3, and Shotzi's route very well may eventually allow him to kill into Drazah. Bomb down here for Atlanta, and now a 3v2 for Texas.
And there's only 30 seconds left. aBeZy trying to cover some ground, walks right into the pre-aim of Kenny. Now it's Cellium left in a 1v3. He spotted Dashy early into the round, takes him down eventually, but the trade is going to be there. But that round simply comes down to what Shotzzy's able to get done.
Absolutely.
First blood into his broken, does not slow down, jumps right up to the treehouse. You always got to expect some crazy movement out of Shotzzy to put himself in a great position. He gets it done. OpTic tie it up.
And the mind games that get established with the early conditioning of, hey, look at us, we're going to be playing super aggressive. You have to worry about a lot early if you are Atlanta FaZe trying to come out of spawn. So we'll see if that continues to be the case when we switch to sides again. And I'll be curious if Atlanta's going to be prone to wanting to do the same things. Are we going to see a Simp or aBeZy try to get aggressive in the same way that Shotzzy prefers to?
It's back for OpTic Texas again. Dashy and Cellium just going to say hi all the way across the street. The rest of the teammates are going to push up towards Broken. It's going to fall into the hands of Drazah, who's going to first be the line of defense over there by the tractor. But you see aBeZy at mid-cut. He's just waiting.
Yeah.
He's waiting for OpTic to attack.
This almost feels like for OpTic, it's more of a, can we catch someone maybe trying to get too aggressive from the FaZe defense? But not to happen as of yet. 55 seconds on the clock. Drazah backs up over towards Tractor. aBeZy on the cross. Both teams will get mutual information on this. So OpTic slide over. aBeZy gives away his position now a little bit more securely with nades to follow through. But OpTic are not interested in this battle. They want to get Drazah out and now take their focus back towards the pinch. And it's a 2-for-1 exchange. Threat turns it into a 3-for-1. Bomb to get planted.
And that's already the adjustments right there from OpTic Texas. Said you smoked mid-cut, but this time I'm going to send Pred to go on the reflank. Cellium left in the 1v3. Position now known. Great shoulder right there from Dashy, but this is too much ground to cover.
Yeah.
This is going to be very difficult for Cell.
Pred rotating over through Dark. He will be the one to find him. And I love that call from OpTic saying, okay, aBeZy, we see you here, Dark. We know you're not going to push through it, though. We know exactly also where your teammate Drazah is. Let's just flood and isolate him backside Tractor.
Because that first attacking round, they should have walked away with it.
Agreed.
All they had to do was shut down that mid-cut push, and this time they were ready for it. They get that first kill. They solo out Drazah towards the back end. Bomb goes down. Cellium stands no chance. First attacking round of the map goes to OpTic.
And a great start for Kenny, 4-1. And now for OpTic, again, do we see those same mind games? What does Shotzzy prefer to do off spawn here? Dashy once again, it's going to be another long game of tag, probably with Cellium over towards this long A street. And there will be, again, a little bit more aggression here from OpTic, but it's not as far forward for Shotzzy. This is just a double stack on the B side defensively with Kenny watching mid.
There's just so many different looks right now on OpTic's defense. It's like you're expecting Shotzzy to be aggressive every single round alongside Pred, but this time they're going to play it nice and slow towards the backside of the B bomb. Dashy putting down a couple shots, just getting all the info he possibly can. But still nothing to gain. 30 seconds already knocked off the clock, and you are Atlanta FaZe. Just go towards A.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though. You can kind of see it. Not a lot of forward play up towards B Street because they may be worried about if Shotzy's gotten into the treehouse, but they also haven't seen anything at mid-tank. So this is just, again, Atlanta trying to find information on at least one more member from OpTic, and they're really not getting it. Nades blow up over top of A. Simp will also get tagged, so here come OpTic on the rotation defensively.
At least information now gained. They know that the pressure is going to be over towards A. At least the Kenny finding the first, but the trade is going to be there. There's only 25 seconds left, and Atlanta have to get that objective done.
aBeZy's collected the bomb, but OpTic's threat on the flank has been established. Here comes the commitment. Shotzzy, does he see a couple of toes? Sure does. Bomb not planted. Just falls once again to Cell. He'll get the first. Naps over, sees Shotzzy topside take, but the help has arrived, and OpTic take back-to-back rounds.
You can just tell right there on Atlanta's attacking rounds, like, they're expecting to see one of these SMGs up through the middle of the map. The fact that a minute goes off the clock, they're already pushed through Cafe, no one's playing an A-bomb corner.
Yep.
They take so long just waiting for someone to make a play from OpTic, but it was both the SMGs up on the opposite side of the map. They come through and they get it done. That's 3 rounds in a row now for OpTic.
So much mystery in the OpTic setup. Had Atlanta hungry for intel. Hello, crowd. Here we go. Kind of feels like already for Atlanta, need to establish some of those current win conditions we talked about. Stop the bomb from being planted. So far, OpTic 2 for 2 in overall plants. This time for Atlanta, a little bit of a forward play initially from aBeZy, but he'll back up and just watch mid tank.
And this is another different look by OpTic Texas. This time we're going to take Cafe control Kenny. It's going to be the island player holding down broken side, but we do have one player sneaking on through. It is going to be Simp. That bomb is slowly working its way up. Shotzzy trying to edge his way out through freezer.
And I think the more that Simp can get established over towards where this control zone would normally be, the faster Drazah is going to feel like he can rotate over if he needs to. Problem is, does Atlanta actually have any intel? How many players for OpTic are over the top of A? Lots of tags from aBeZy, but all of it through the wall. So everyone will stay up. We'll continue 4v4, 40 seconds on the clock. Now Drazah's rotated over to help.
Shotzzy's just waiting. Shotzzy does not want to get bad timing. At least Drazah finding the first blood. Doesn't spot Shotzzy, so he's at least able to even up the numbers. 3v3, only 30 seconds.
Commitment not fully established over towards A, and I don't know if Kenny actually saw the rotation back from Simp. No, I don't believe he had. So the rotation through mid-cut works out for one. Simp turns that into a double. Can't quite get away with his life. 15 seconds on the clock for what would be a 1v3 for Bruce. On a 3-3 as well. Bomb will be collected. Drazah taken down. 1v1, but Cellium is so far away. Dashy does, I believe, just have enough time for this plant. Yes, just barely. Cellium not able to find the exit.
Oh my God, this is a 1v1. I didn't think he had enough time, but the timing not going in Dashy's favor. He does it with the pistol, but Cellium is ready with that MCW in hand. Clutches up in the one-on-one gunfight. Secures the round for Atlanta FaZe. What was almost a 1v3 from Dashy.
Yep.
Cellium gets the better of him.
And throughout all of it, the drama of what's the timeout going to mean? Were there connection issues on one side or the other? I would imagine that it looked like, based on the motion, that may have came from Atlanta's perspective, but hard to say.
I think Drazah dropped.
Oh, there you go.
I think he's coming back down.
Yeah. So we'll see. Looks
it's
like
okay, guys. I'm telling you.
Fine.
Another 5 seconds, we're right back into it.
Yeah. Status doesn't change as far as how the round was determined. And it looks like everyone is still locked into the monitor, so everything should be good to restart this one pretty darn quickly. Okay. So, big retake again from FaZe. We talked about this. Their ability to play off the objective has been strong, and they showed it here once again with another clutch round.
Just started with Drazah finding that first kill.
Absolutely.
Like OpTic Texas, they had full control of that A site with about a minute left on the clock. But Shotzzy does not want to get bad timing committing towards that bomb plant. Just takes too long, leading to Drazah getting that first kill. Even though he finds the trade, you probably want to put that bomb down in that situation because it's a lot more difficult for Atlanta FaZe to break right into your cafe, try to successfully retake that site.
Yep. So what next here for OpTic setup? We've seen a lot of variety so far, and that's, I will say, just kind of thinking back to their match they played just a week ago, that it's already very different. It feels like the playbook has really been fleshed out a lot. Thing about it is, it's hard to plan against this Atlanta team because the individuals are not just incredible, but their ability to keep you guessing is also just as high. So here we go, right back into it. Not much of a delay, just another 3-2 as Atlanta start to get things going on their next offensive attempt, and a 3-man defensive stack here from OpTic, looking to get aggressive again.
It's another different look. This time we're going to take DVD Alley, and don't know if Simp's going to be able to read this. Definitely not going to read two. Pred finds the first blood. That's now bombed down at DVD.
And this is all about just, can you find a quick recovery here from Atlanta, not just in the lives, but of course in particular to collect this bomb and get back onto your offensive ways. Nades and stuns from aBeZy over towards mid-tank. Pred has backed out though, so he'll stay safe and we continue to 4v3.
And as long as you're OpTic Texas, just not give up anything for free. Don't challenge any one-on-ones you don't have to. Just put yourself in a nice little angle, setting up crossfires, and that's exactly what Pred is doing. He has an inch 1 second up through that mid-tank, and he might get a kill onto Drazah.
It's all about isolating Shotzzy at the moment. Atlanta just hard-pressed to find him, and Shotzzy just trying to wiggle away. He does at least extend his life long enough for a trade to come through. 3v2, bomb still down. A lot of pressure onto Atlanta to find a kill and still collect. Shots to Pred, decent, but not enough for a kill. Drazah scouted, and that's enough damage for Pred to find the follow-up. Now, once again, down to Cell. This will be another 1v3. 15 seconds. Ops to not play for the bomb, instead wants the kills, and he gets crossed up. OpTic with another round up 4-2.
Man, these mid-game adjustments right now from OpTic Texas, you could definitely tell. They went back and watched last week VOD and just said, if we throw so many different looks at them, they can easily read us, and that's exactly what's been happening so far. Pred and Shotzzy combine for the first blood in towards DVD, and then they just let that clock continue to wind down. You force Atlanta FaZe to make a play on their side, and just not enough time left. Cellium in the 1v3 eventually turns into a 1v2, but he just did not have the bomb. That's an easy round for OpTic.
This gap has to be tightened up here for Atlanta. Need to find some of that objective pressure here defensively as once more, here come OpTic with numbers, but this time it's aBeZy through mid. Quick hit up through P1. That's good for first blood. And now a very rare 4v3 for Atlanta.
And that's the first blood of the entire map for aBeZy. He's usually Mr. First Blood. Finally, he comes out on top in one engagement. Now in a 3v4, you have Shotzzy slowly working his way up through Broken. He is that bomb carrier, but you see the rest of Atlanta FaZe, they're not budging. They're waiting for the play to come in.
Shots come out, Drazah's been seen. Do they expect the second contestant? Now they do, but it's too late. Simp over towards square, good for the kill. Shotzzy drops the bomb now, front side B tank. Defense still very comfortable in their setup at the moment in this 4v2.
Yeah, you don't have to move. You have everything cut off, all the crossfires being watched. In 4v2, we just have to trade. Early shots does get Drazah to back down a little bit. At least Kenny finding him, but Simp is there. Cellium finds the final. It's too strong of a defensive setup right there from Atlanta FaZe on the back of aBeZy finding that first blood.
Yeah, and if you look back to the last Atlanta defense, aBeZy made the same play, just didn't extend it through P1. This time he does, not having any contact from the prior round, and it works out beautifully for FaZe for a very, very quick opening first that really there was no chance to ever counter. So, can they turn it into 2 in a row to get this thing back to a level terms at 4 apiece? From OpTic's defensive perspective, though, again, it's been, here's us all at once, here's none of us at all. It's just been a lot of this back and forth between tempo, fast and slow both.
Let's see how they make the adjustments to get in another defensive round. It's all out pressure in towards the cafe. Early shots from Kenny at least gains the information on where the pressure's coming in, but Shotzzy already finds himself in towards DVD. Can he find the timing on this pinch?
And how about this from FaZe? Quick plant coming through, and OpTic is no wiser for this at all. Bomb planted, you can see every arrow on the minimap just immediately snaps over saying, uh-oh, we gotta go. Problem is, Cellium's gonna be at an island, so you have to worry about that positioning as this retake starts to get underway.
Yeah, you gotta move fast. You gotta move fast because you saw Dashy. He did peek the street thinking that Cellium was gonna go for a late pitch, but it's Shotzzy with the movement to find the first blood. Only 2 players left on the site.
And here comes Cell for a long pinch as well. So for FaZe, it's all about just can you hold off this backside and push Cell, able to take down Ice Cream, and then a follow-up. Oh, the post-plant hold. It's beautiful from FaZe. Oh, it's a 4-for-1 exchange. And we will get leveled up at 4 apiece.
That was just a perfect blind counter right there from Atlanta FaZe. All out pressure up through B. Shotzzy usually plays around that broken area, or at least towards back tractor, but this time he takes DVD. They all walk right on by, and then when they put that bomb down, 100% success rate.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to try to retake it, and then when you have Cellium working the super long flank to find 2 on the pinch, it's a greatly executed play right there from Atlanta tied up at 4.
That's the thing about how Cell plays that island too. He could reinforce this by on the offensive side playing through B, or he could just push right down A Street and have you kind of thinking that he's everywhere all at once. OpTic on this next offense, a key round for both sides, try to get to 5 first. And this is another different look coming out. FaZe kind of stacking over through DVD side, where the only intel that OpTic are giving is, once again, we know that Dashy is going to try to take this 1v1 versus Cell.
And all you have to do if you are OpTic Texas is to make sure anybody's watching over mid-tank, because now you have cafe control. You're in a position again where you have full A site. This time we have to just work that bomb plant. Shotzzy works his way out. They get the info onto Simp towards the middle of the tank, but Trophy System is going to keep him alive for now.
Kenny and Drazah also near one another. Both will back away. Bomb being planted. Shotzzy this time does get it down, even though aBeZy gets first blood. Trade comes out. Simp has someone in his sights, and that'll be enough for Atlanta to take a 3-for-1 exchange. Simp with the final kill. Has Atlanta now on 3 rounds in a row and on map point.
Just comes down to position right there of Simp. Like, you get the bomb down for free. Shotzzy's instantly taken down, but you're not expecting a second player to be aggressive with that rival 9 through mid-tank. Finds 3 on the round. Atlanta FaZe just knows something a little bit different when it comes to closing out these search and destroys. 3 rounds in a row, now put them at game point.
Just their retake percentage is so unbelievable. I mean, for a team that finds as many first bloods as they do, they're not often required to get retakes, but even in situations of even numbers, 3v3s, 2v2s, they're so good at playing around the objective. So now it's on to OpTic. Can you find a way to get this thing to around 11? Not really any individual that you're looking at. Everyone's played well to this point. It just comes down to the mind games that are starting to develop in this game of chess between OpTic and Atlanta.
This time for OpTic Texas, their setup is going to be a 2-2 split. Kenny towards the backside of the tractor, but Shotzzy now information gain. He slides to Broken. With that smoke, he's able to get out with his life. Big play coming in out of Shotzzy, but Drazah finds the first blood on the Kenny.
And they know that Shotzzy's only position could be tight up against this B site, so he needs help. Pred's rotated over, aBeZy on the hunt. Shotzzy trying to make something happen, but that's a square peg meeting a round hole. So Pred steps forward. Atlanta not committing to this play yet, and the longer this takes, the more that there's silence across the map, the more that OpTic starts to doubt that this is a play towards B.
Yeah, you see Dashy already rotating back over towards the A Street, but now Pred spots a couple players crossing in front of him. Dashy, you gotta come help me. Everyone from Atlanta FaZe is on this side of the map, and Simp takes down Pred. Big Brucey, the Batman, 1v4.
Good luck, have fun. Smoke covers the cross, so he's got to do this through the ice cream door. Pops everything, the bomb getting planted. So Dashy only finds a single kill. And how about the stretch of rounds in a row from Atlanta FaZe? Oh man, OpTic came out, I will say, with a lot of versatility, but FaZe not fooled, throws it right back in their face.
That's what makes them the best search and destroy team that we have in the game.
Agreed.
The way that they are able to make those mid-game adjustments, those mid-round adjustments, just reading what OpTic are doing. Those first 6 rounds, it's like, all right, OpTic are throwing this at us. They're throwing this at us. Okay, but if we take this, they're going to have to do this.
Yes.
They started to figure that out towards the later half of this search and destroy. And what was that? 4 rounds in a row to close this one out. They're the best team in search and destroy, and they show it there. They tie the series up at 1.
And they do it by way of not just finding good retakes, good objective play, but they also started to pick things up in the first blood department as well, which has been kind of their bread and butter, no matter what search and destroy map we find ourselves on. So the talents across the board, really no one you can point to say, oh, wish we could have had more from that person. But the biggest point is both teams should have expected our next map to hit the pool. OpTic don't like invasion. FaZe don't want to give them Karachi, so naturally high rise will be our control once again in this second matchup between these two teams.
And I think that that's the map that's going to decide everything, man. Whoever's able to walk away with this control, you obviously have the advantage in this series, but just the momentum going forward. Best map for Atlanta FaZe, kind of a mid one for OpTic. You need this map to walk away with the W.
And then, of course, that also guarantees us a map for invasion, which is also a rebuttal from when these two teams had played previously. But I'll tell you, to this point, the OpTic FaZe legacy and rivalry that has continued to kind of echo across the halls of Call of Duty has provided. High rise coming up next. Feels like an important one for both sides. See how it goes when we come back.
Start the season strong with the Call of Duty League Pack. Grab yourself the CDL Operator, Weapon Blueprint, and so much more. Check out the Call of Duty store in-game now.
The Painted aBeZy bundle is available now in the Call of Duty store. Inspired by the folk art of Oaxaca, this stunning bundle offers colorful, vibrant, and mythical items you gotta check out.
Welcome back to Boston and welcome to OpTic versus FaZe. Tied up 1 apiece. I'm Ship, with me Study, and we're going into a high-rise control, which, looking at how both teams have preferred to play the mode, this one is pretty predictable. The thing about it is, this is a map, and really every map feels like FaZe is just unkillable at times.
This is FaZe's bread and butter, man. They're 2-0. The only control that they are currently undefeated on. They don't want to play OpTic on that Karachi map, so we get that out the way. We have our best control map with them choosing Team B. And the thing that really scares me for them is that they have the best non-traded kill percentage in the entire league. 70% of the time, every single player on Atlanta FaZe get a kill and they stay alive for an extra 5 seconds.
Yeah.
On a map like High Rise, that can come back to bite you because you have to come off spawn, check every single corner, and they make it difficult. So I think if you are OpTic Texas, it's simply about the slaying. You have to slay with Atlanta on this map.
Confirm kills, especially when you find yourself on defense if you're OpTic, because that has been statistically their worst side. And wouldn't you know it, that's the side that they will spawn up on. FaZe focused over towards hitting in the underground, and with that OpTic just trying to take long-range battles, which Drazah starts us off with first blood.
Big first kill to take down Kenny. Now you have the opportunity to go over towards that A side, but it's still a great trade going down towards the middle of the map. OpTic find 3. Last player up is going to be Simp. You get the stun in, but you don't win the gunny. The trade is going to be there. So OpTic holds strong in their first line of defense.
Look at the positioning. Well, initially from Shotzzy, he was all the way up towards the top side of Atlanta spawns, forcing FaZe off spawn to try to reconsider how they want to try to break out B from the front. Unfortunate team nade coming out, leaves Pred by himself. Dashy, that was a critical mistake. Drazah gets 2 Cellium follows up, and now FaZe on with 3 members at B.
That's 3 members on with a clean 4 dead. So now OpTic are in a situation where you have to work your way out of the spawn. You have to check every corner, and aBeZy is cutting you down. That's another 4 dead. It had to be in the sling, and already off to a bad start. Atlanta up by 6 live. That's already be done and dusted. We're already working on it.
Now aBeZy can just be frustrating. Just kind of keep finessing your life for as long as possible. Quick trade comes out. First tick of progress, though, is locked for Atlanta. Follow-up elimination.
Oh my God.
It's just absolutely perfect from FaZe. Now again, a 3-man stack comes through. Second tick going to get locked. OpTic need to find the kills. They need to find a way to go, and they aren't able to do so. A lightning fast offense.
That might be the fastest offense we're going to see all year long.
I like that call.
We're talking about multiple 4 deads at the right time. That round ended 22-14 in lives remaining, and even with them extending that time over towards B, there was still 1 minute and 57 seconds left on the game clock. Picture perfect round right there from Atlanta.
Wow. Talk about just an absolute complete blowout in the first round. And that's going to bring back, I think, a little bit of PTSD for OpTic fans from the last time they played, because it was a 3-0 when they played this match when they had it online.
But I know that attacking round wasn't that damn fast.
No, it wasn't. No.
That's scary if Atlanta FaZe come out swinging like that, because Drazah starts it off. Pretty sure he earns himself a cruise missile potentially as well, but
yeah, 7-1.
If you are OpTic, you just got to forget about that round. That one did not happen. We're basically spawning in the first round on the attack.
Yeah, exactly. Down 1-0.
Yeah.
It's not good any way you slice it. Small timeout here, as it looks like possible situation has quickly been resolved. Jump right back into the mix here again, and it almost puts you in this position where OpTic are suddenly just kind of completely slingshotted back into this map, saying we have to kind of do the exact same thing that Atlanta just did to us if we want to have a chance.
And the good thing for them is that they're also one of the top teams that we have on the attacking side, and they get it done through the slaying. So just watch Atlanta FaZe do it to you. Can you mimic exactly what they just did? aBeZy with the first blood on to Kenny, already taking bottom blue control. OpTic have full B side.
Yeah, this is all about elevator alley here from Texas. Couple of long-range shots do land, though, so OpTic get to stall the clock at 1:12 with focus over towards B. Help is on the way. Dashy able to be the last one still over, holding on to this contest time. Drazah steps in, but does get traded out. 2 for 1 goes the exchange, but Simp is again playing this from the backside of the map, finding eliminations and making sure OpTic cannot stack.
And that's already the first segment complete, but Drazah does take down Kenny off that positioning. So now the rest of OpTic coming off spawn. Have to try to pause this game clock. Next person up is going to be Dashy. He's already in towards B. He finds the first. Big stun to slow down Simp because he was trying to go for that trade, and now OpTic are maintaining map control. Exactly what you need to do.
Oh, and Pred getting a second through mid-map is huge. Dashy with a little bit more cushion to kind of play his life over towards B, while OpTic are simultaneously making a little bit of work. Oh! On the A side! And how about Pred? He gets 7 in a row, eventually partially taken out by an explosion, but it doesn't make much of a difference because OpTic are still capturing on both zones.
They're still capturing B, and they have a player on A. All of Atlanta FaZe stuck in the back of their base. B is now done and dusted. We're halfway to completing this second segment at A as well. That's already 2 dead in the feed. We asked for a response, and OpTic aren't giving it. 1 segment left until they take this attack.
Did not see this map going this way, but boy, are we here for it. Wow. You are not going to see a better set of back-to-back offensive rounds, and wouldn't you know it, we're getting it on land between 2 of our top squads.
2 of the best attacking teams that we have on this map, and they show it in back-to-back rounds. All segments complete, so they're all squared up at 6. But that's a great response right there from OpTic to put the momentum back on their side. Crucial plays coming in from Pred. He earns himself a cruise missile, sitting at 11-6 so far.
Drazah, keep in mind, also earned one of his own. So we've got equal cruises earned on both sides. Are we going to see any defense? That's the real question here. Different opening route for Atlanta. Not opting to go through underground this time. It's all through elevator alley. First shot's good from Pred. Shotzzy, I believe, has been seen top propane, but no one for FaZe could do anything about it yet.
And they can't get out. They can't find any kills. Last player up is going to be Drazah. He's sniffed out. Great read right there by Dashy. Now you're forced to hit the reset button. Everyone has to work their way out through the right side. Blue is that positioning right now from OpTic Texas. You have elevator shot.
Shotzzy trying to get forward, does get pushed aside, so Atlanta not in the spawn trap as of yet, but the clock continues to fade away. 50 seconds to go. Couple of kills keep Atlanta tight in the lives, but again, not a lot of progress to be spoken of when it comes to either of these 2 zones. Route here from Simp, though, does get over towards A, so clock stops at 41 seconds, and FaZe will have a chance to kind of, again, do what OpTic did, get players on both zones.
Oh, and they find 3 kills in the feed. Last player up is going to be Drazah. You have to hop off that point. You have to help your teammates get out of the base, and with only 30 seconds left, they try to commit towards both points. They find the initial 2 fights, but now it's Pred's turn. He takes one down from the top, and now it's only him. Everyone else from his team are going to be all spawn, but he's not slowing down. He's unbelievable, 15-8. He continues to fry.
And the last 2 members for FaZe were seen on this crossover towards B. Shotzzy jumps into contest, but can't lock the shots down on towards Simp. Pred also not in a position to follow up to confirm the kill off the damage. So B gets the first tick of progress done. Drazah, a little bit of assistance from Simp, also wins mid-map, and again, here come FaZe with the stack. Second tick in, third one looking likely as well.
Yeah, now OpTic are forced to give up that B point. Actually, Pred is going to invest that cruise missile. All the trophies going to be down. They already captured it. Can he find a kill? Yes, he does. It's a big kill for at least to allow his teammates to get out of the base, and that leads to them finding 3 kills. Just have to locate where Drazah is as he's trying to play his life until his teammates get out.
Completely squanders the ability to transition, though, if you're FaZe. Refighting this back out of spawn. Shotzzy cleans things up, finally, with the remaining FaZe offensive players towards the B zone. Same foot. Dashy, other side of the map, getting forward. So now you've got OpTic looking into the spawn windows of Atlanta.
This is perfect. You're past that 50-yard line. Can you hold them for a long time, though? Dashy drops across the map. You do get that close spawn towards the back end, but Shotzzy, even with the AR, he makes it look easy. 45 seconds remaining on the game clock. Unfortunate teammate again by Dashy onto Pred, but they're still holding strong. Atlanta FaZe only have 1 person on it.
And this could also come down to lives. We've got a 10 playing up against 9, but Simp's double, again, continues to allow Atlanta now push a little bit further forward towards the defensive spot. Simp, mantles over the top of the windows. Pistol in hand, gets to 4 in a row. Still on the zone is Cell. First tick of progress going to get locked in. OpTic have to take the scenic route, and it's not very good to look at. 8 plays 4. Second tick of progress looking good, but Pred clears the zone. Clock now looking to tick again.
Oh, Pred was the only guy out. He takes him off of that point, and then it eventually leads to the rest of OpTic having the ability to get out of their base, but now they have no more respawns. It has to be picture perfect, but all the kills in the feed are going to Atlanta FaZe. It all comes down to Dashy. 1v4, he gets taken down.
Wow.
And Atlanta FaZe don't get it done in the segments. They complete 5, but they take another attack.
And a big decision there for FaZe to not necessarily just stack on towards A. Let's keep OpTic spawning so far away that their only choice is to have to rewrap this through the B zone. Beautiful split-second decision from FaZe allows this to stay all offense. I mean, based on how these 2 teams played it the last time, it's kind of how we've generally seen this map go. I didn't have on my bingo card 3 straight attacking rounds going the way of either of these 2 teams.
No, I definitely didn't have it either. But now it needs to be 4 if you want to try to force that round number 5. If OpTic Texas complete all segments, they will have defense just in case, but they have to win this attacking first. Simp starts it off. Great B-side control. making sure no one's going to be able to sneak up. But you see the route from Pred. He's slowly working his way up that A side, and Shotzzy with the beamer.
Yeah, good shots from Shotzzy. Keeps FaZe focused on this B zone, and now Pred can make his move. Only able to take down one, but could sneak over towards the defensive windows again. So clock stalls at a minute 8. OpTic reinforcing. The only real play here for FaZe to try to hit this from the backside. It's kind of a 2v2 on different fronts.
And they're just trying to keep him trapped. See Pred, he's being such a nuisance, not trying to let anyone out. Takes down aBeZy. Now it's time to jump into the spawn. What else can you get done? Not taking down Cellium. It's not going to help, but Dashy is going to be there for the trade. Second segment already complete.
Now the focus has to go back over towards Simp. He's over on the offensive side, eventually traded by Kenny. Look at the life count, 21 playing 23. We've got 60 seconds on the clock. But for OpTic, you've got to find a way to finish off this B zone, extend the route, and hopefully still see around 5. Otherwise, FaZe take a crucial map winner. Over towards B we look, and as Shotzzy was trying to get on, he gets taken out of the picture, and FaZe start to dominate in the kill feed.
That's already 3 dead, so now OpTic forced to hit the reset button. Pred does take down Drazah. He's the only man out, but how much longer can they be held in the back of the spawn? It's only 35 seconds left. You need 1 segment over towards B, but Cellium in the perfect positioning, earns himself a cruise missile. Only 30 seconds left. OpTic have to get a move on it.
Dashy tries to move over towards the 8 barrels, pushed off by Cellium now on 7 in a row. Shotzzy, good damage comes through for a double, and that will be enough for OpTic to actually take those kills, rotate back towards B. 2 members on. That'll be good for the extra 60 seconds, and keep your eye on Shotzzy. He's making a route happen. Cellium calling it the cruise missile, should scout this out. Just comes down to can they survive through the cruise.
Time is now extended. Shotzzy does fall. It leads to Simp and aBeZy finding 2, make it all 4 dead in the feed. The cruise missile doesn't gain anything, but it gains the information to allow the teammates to push out. Now OpTic only have a minute. Down by 4 lives. Have to work their way out of the base.
Have to find something clean as well. Only 10 lives remaining is not what you'd like to fully capture an A zone. Shotzzy just reading intel on every single member of FaZe through the back. Gets a lot of Simp, but not enough of them as aBeZy on the other side of the map takes down 2 OpTic offensive players. Not looking good here for Texas. They need something and they need it quick.
Yeah, this is not good, man. Shotzzy's just trying to wait for his teammates to find a couple kills, but they have not been able to find any. Only 5 lives, make it 4 remaining. This might be it if OpTic Texas don't make it happen.
Kenny and Shotzzy do extend an opportunity, but it's a 10v3. Not looking good here. It's been all offense at this point, but FaZe defensively have stepped up when it matters most. Shotzzy on the zone. Here comes the final cruise out of Drazah. That will land, and the whole map explodes. 8v1. Pred last one left alive, and here comes the flood from FaZe. It's from all fronts at the same time, and Atlanta clean things up. A 3-1 tally here gives them the edge of the series.
It was such a back and forth control between both of these teams, but I said it before the map started. It simply came down to the slaying. It was an instant response from both squads to tie it up at 1. But then Atlanta FaZe making the adjustments the second half, gaining all the kills, not winning that round by the segments complete. And then when they go into a defense, it's just every time they needed to get a 4 dead. Every time OpTic got a 4 dead, a cruise missile was invested. Exactly. You were able to reposition them. You allowed Atlanta FaZe to work out of the spawn, and they just simply outslayed OpTic Texas right there, and that leads to the W.
And you can really see the difference, I think, in particular when you focus on the 2 ARs from both sides.
Yeah.
15 and 22 from Kenny. Yeah, lots of damage, good assists. Dashy, 12 and 19, but you look down to Cell, 21 and 13. He gets himself that late cruise, like you mentioned, and of course, Drazah almost did the exact same thing through the first 3 rounds. So FaZe really dominating in the long-range battles. They're definitely a key.
And now if you are Atlanta FaZe, you're up 2-1. You do exactly what you need to do as Team B. When you're choosing Team B in these series, you're giving up that first hard point. You say you can go out there and play whatever the hell you want as map number 1. But the middle maps, the next 2, 3, and 4 are all picks from Atlanta FaZe. And the next one that we have on our hands is a map that they recently just beat them on Invasion, 250 to 235. It wasn't easy, but they got it done.
Yep, and I think the big thing about it is we're going to be able to see this kind of almost an immediate rebuttal towards what we had in map number 1, where, again, OpTic need to find a way to get these Rs to control the tempo, control the pace, find ways to win good rotational wins, because otherwise we know what we're going to expect out of Cellium. His engagements per map are not necessarily the highest, but he's winning almost every single one of them, it feels like.
He always puts himself in a great position.
Absolutely.
Like, he's the guy early off the rotation, holding the Godhead glitch to make sure he's putting his team in a position to succeed. And that's always the player he has been. Obviously, in this title, he's not going to have a lot of engagements. You have now Drazah added to the lineup, who's also one of those slayers who can take over the game. So all you have to do, Cellium, is make sure you hold down the better side for us.
You make it sound so simple, Jay.
It's a good game. It's a good game.
And now I'll say it. I mean, OpTic, they really need something from Shotzzy here.
Yeah.
He looked really good versus Miami. We kind of had this moment throughout the online phase, especially in the last couple of matches. It was like, where is the Shotzzy that we're used to seeing? He could be the one guy that OpTic needs to pop off here and just completely dominate, stop Simp and aBeZy from going rampant, and hopefully, again, allow easier battles versus Cellium.
And these teams have so much history, so we have so much to look at when we look at this matchup. And every single time that OpTic Texas usually walk away with a W, it's on the back of Shotzzy. He drops a 1.2 every single time. Not having the best start to this series, but it's still not over. You can be the game changer in this map number 4. You just have to think about the things that they made that cost them last year. We're talking about a 250 to 235 score line. They had one hill, the second rotation at Palace, where they were the team early off the rotation, but you let one player from Atlanta FaZe sneak on by, and everyone starts to focus him. So they only were able to walk away with, which usually a full 60, 20 points there. And then as you rotate over towards the second half, it was that fact that Atlanta FaZe were able to breach that 190-point mark at that bathroom hill, set up properly around that tree house, and not even put themselves in a position to play for Palace. They close it out at tree. So they have that clutch in them. But if we saw map number 1, OpTic will keep it in Mixie. You have to do it here in map 4.
And that's the really impressive thing about OpTic is, statistically speaking, they rank some of the highest overall in the league when it comes to how they hold and how they break, which is surprising because their average margin per map is still good, but their record is only 8-4. It just comes down to when they win, they usually win by a lot. When they lose, they also kind of similarly so often lose by quite a bit. We're on the other side for FaZe. You mentioned it in map number 1. Their ability to win in 30-point margin games has been perfect to this point. That has been where I think Atlanta FaZe really stands out, is their clutch ability on hardpoint maps.
And that has to be the addition of Drazah. No panic. There's no panic on the side of Atlanta FaZe. They are never worried, whatever map it is, whatever mode it is, with the addition of Drazah. He's installing that confidence in 3 players who have been confident as hell for the past 5 years. This team is in full form, and they have the opportunity to put OpTic down.
All right, let's see how it goes, because it's really, again, pick your poison when it comes to focusing on one player from FaZe. Simp has been unbelievable, though, again, just kind of up close and personal. 1.24. He's averaging nearly 24 kills per 10 minutes, and the damage numbers are off the charts. So, again, a lot of shutdown would have to happen here. I think a lot of the focus comes down to what do we get out of Shotzzy. But let's load on in. It's OpTic Texas, Atlanta FaZe, map number 4. Texas needing the back 2 maps, otherwise Atlanta will continue to hold the edge over OpTic on the season to this point.
Yeah, and OpTic with their back against the wall, they're going to need the green wall behind them in this map number 4. Trades are abound in towards the cafe. Back and forth we go, but it's Dashy that comes out on top in the engagements. OpTic in early control.
Drazah from behind, able to take down Kenny. Does not expect Dashy initially, and whoa, got a lot of them, but not able to confirm the kill. So OpTic off their second spawns, right back into the hard point and right back into earning some early time.
You can already see what aBeZy's doing. He's thinking about that next hill. He's 35 seconds at that next HP. They're deciding to give up all of this time to OpTic Texas, and they have no problem taking it all. Just now, you have to make up for it if you are Atlanta FaZe. aBeZy in the crucial position. He's going to let one run on by, but now his positioning is known. Basically a full 40 seconds off P1 to start off for OpTic.
Spawns have not moved after they were initially flipped, so FaZe once again able to get themselves in towards construction early. And every kill from Drazah is an important one for FaZe. Look at this, is already done. OpTic spawns back over towards Palace. You've got 2 members for Atlanta in the middle of the map, and Texas are sitting here saying, well, where are they going to come from first?
And now you have Pred and Shotzzy who are slowing down. They do not want to spawn all out towards the backside of Palace. So you want to take your time, find a couple kills on the pitch, but Simp does come out on top in the engagements, and the spawns do flip. Actually, they're adjacent to each other. Everyone's spawned right next to each other, but at least OpTic are the team in the time.
Little Congo line out of Palace. Pred in the hard point, going to get reinforces. Dashy steps forward to assist. FaZe still trying to, again, hit this for what is a lot of time, to be fair. 23 seconds still remaining, but kills continue to come through for OpTic. FaZe trying to pinch this up from the backside. It's all about not only just winning the kills on the exit, but can they get some success re-flipping spawns?
And Pred already earns himself a cruise miss, so now OpTic do a great job at that P2. How long can you try to trap him in towards the back end? They don't find a single kill, and now the spawns flip. The sole man is going to be Kenny. He only takes down 1, but Atlanta needed the break out of that back Palace spawn, and they get it done at the right time to win that rotation towards next.
Helps them from keeping this map at least inside of your grip. It doesn't get ugly too quick. And how about this from FaZe? Aggression on all fronts. Dashy, great read. That's an important 2 kills. Texas can fly. They can just run right in towards bus station. Drazah rather, pardon me, not able to fully confirm the kill from the front, but still able to tally 1. Turns back to the hard point for a second. Not quite able to get all 3. But still, with that, OpTic will break. FaZe still looking to get their way back in with 30 seconds remaining.
Oh, and FaZe is definitely going to be disappointed about that one. You have players spawning across the map, set up for some easy pinches, but OpTic read the play. They find the break with the numbers at the bathroom hill, and now it's all about the rotation over towards next. Atlanta FaZe already have 2 players in that positioning, but they're not going to send anyone towards that junk side. The rest of OpTic slowly working because they don't have palace control. They know that. We need to try to fight for this treehouse side, and Simp is ready for the jumper from Shotzzy to start it off with this initial time.
Help on the backside, though. Drazah gets involved, keeps this OpTic hit from really amassing too much. Pred up top at Broken. Able to at least see where Simp's position is, but it's more about the focus with the, I'll say aBeZy initially, but Drazah able to once again be a part of it. Spawns towards Plaza, come out for OpTic, but the focus for Atlanta is all about can they just soak every second here at 4.
And you have to make that decision now. You don't have Palace anymore, and if you are OpTic Texas, you will take it. We can give up this 40 seconds. You're probably going to take a little lead, but we have the ability to get a full 60. You just have to win a couple gunfights, because if you lose these fights, then you start spawning across the map. Next line of defense is Shotzzy, and depending on how far pushed up, Drazah gets up on the map. He potentially spawns across. No, he's going to spawn with his team. So no more pushing towards that old hill. OpTic got to set up perfectly here.
Big shutdown on Drazah that completely eliminates one side of the map for Atlanta's hit. But the bigger news here for FaZe is the fact that they've got a little bit of room to work with over towards street side, and they brought this game back to level footing. Just down to can they actually break. The thing about it is OpTic is one of the best teams holding on this map in the game, and you're going to see it really come to light here if they continue to find kills in front of 5.
Yeah, this has to be a good hold, though. Kenny, unfortunately, does get pushed out by Drazah, so now you have a couple players already underneath. You have to try to sniff out where Drazah is, but they're cutting off the rest. Drazah sneaks on by, but he's the only one. A big one-on-one from Ped. Can he win it? No, he cannot. Drazah makes the play, but the trade is there. OpTic right back in.
Yeah, Shotzzy Kenny saved the day for what looked to be an inevitable break for FaZe. Still 35 seconds remaining. Cellium already crossing over, finds himself elimination into Kenny, but the trade is swift, and with that OpTic locking in the back 30 for guaranteed.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. No more pushing if you are Atlanta FaZe. You don't want to flip those spawns because you already have a couple players out from OpTic Texas, and you actually do get a close spawn for Pred over towards the treehouse. So can they get anything done from this positioning? Kenny does get taken down, but now it's on Pred. He finds one. You just got to play your life now.
Just be a nuisance. Just sit around the backside. Keep Atlanta really having to focus on everything all at once all the time. Pred, though, is seen trying to make a move around the backside at Mannequin. Drazah with the elimination. Still holds on towards mid-tank. OpTic giving him a lot of damage and eventually take him out of the picture. Hardpoint just opens. 140 playing 96, and OpTic have numbers for their break.
Here we go. Everyone's trying to find their way in. aBeZy starts it off with the first kill. You try to work through that B Street alley as well, but Atlanta have everything cut off. Already 3 dead in the feed. Farthest belly push up is going to be Shotzzy. He does take down 1, but you can't challenge 3 players by yourself. You got to let those reinforcements come in.
OpTic still trying to get this done from every point of ingress, and a 2-for-2 exchange starts to come through. Texas now into the hard point. Drazah wanted to battle this one. Back from Pred, shuts him down. Follow up from Simp, able to take down 1. Pistol now back over to the MCW. Tough gunfight. Kenny holds the front door. This is key time for both teams. Final 1v1 for the scrap. Cell, he will be stunned. Nade won't fully damage. Over the top. Shotzzy still puts him down, and OpTic go in rotation.
That's perfect. That's a perfect play right there from OpTic Texas, because if you've killed them all at the right time, and once that hill pops, they can potentially start spawning behind you. But you see Dashy in a crucial position. He just wants to stay pushed out towards treehouse. Doesn't want to allow his teammates to continuously spawn towards the backside of Palace, but this is the time to invest the cruise missile. Information now gained. How do they attempt to break?
Trophy system does its job. Kenny stays alive. Shotzzy deep on the cross. Also make sure that no one from FaZe can contest Kenny in this tight corner. Good follow-ups coming out. Drazah able to tally 1. Oh, and then over the top of the tank takes care of Kenny. OpTic still spawning close. A chance to jump right back into the hill. 30 seconds to fight for.
Atlanta FaZe, they're in a decision now where you have to either apply the pressure or set up that rotation towards next, as OpTic looking like they're going to be very difficult to take out of this HP. Shotzzy with the movement finds 1. Pred finds a second, and you already have a player in Dashy slowly working his way on out. All this time goes to OpTic Texas. They blew this game wide open.
Atlanta has to be perfect here, and they also have to rotate perfectly just to give themselves a chance to get back into this game. Drazah on the old time. trying to make himself just as untradeable as possible, and Texas are actually spending a lot of resources to work through this street. They eventually get a couple of the kills, but FaZe spawning close will have the setup they want for Bus.
And this is the break that led to OpTic Texas growing the lead the way that they did. They can get another one in towards the bathroom, even better. You get the cruise missile, you find the first blood. Now you know exactly where you need to apply this pressure in. 2 players through the back, 1 through the front. Can you win the gunfight? No, Simp takes down 1, but it's OpTic Texas with the numbers.
First 2 kills are decent. Simp shuts it down, and with aBeZy with him, a prime time to see if FaZe can hold this up as the kills come out. We'll jump over to Atlanta FaZe. Listen it.
Side across, side across. Behind me, I'll do. Or Shotzzy on there.
It's on DVD. They're in there, okay?
Shot picture dark, okay.
Yeah. I can finish dark first. Take one shot, take one shot.
I think I got through. I'll do. Take that. Standing on the door, on the top part. Naded and new.
I don't see back alley.
Back alley on top.
I'm taking the spawn.
I'm one shot.
Hey, on top. My shot, one shot.
Please stop, Brandon. Brandon's
I have this one.
hold that weapon, I think.
Yeah, listen, hold your top blue.
One more time, you
Hey, one's behind us. Top blue, look your belt.
Watch out, your white van. Kenny's out too. He's mid.
White van, his balcon.
Back off, I flipped.
He's on time, he's on the backside, he's in the kitchen.
It's getting mixy, friends. Couple of kills for OpTic, allow them a chance to find extra time over towards the old hard point, but the whole focus of who wins this map comes down to what's happening right here at Palace.
This is exactly what we saw last week on the online qualifier match, just getting mixy in towards the Palace. It all is going to come down to who can set up properly, who can find these final couple of kills and put their team on a preferred side. Simp finds another. Now it's all on to Pred. He snuck his way through back Palace. Can he get it done?
Shots going over to the top side. Dashy taken out, but enough damage to give Pred an easy kill. He has to stay alive. Atlanta still also kind of in a conga line set of spawns. Pred for 3. Help has now arrived. 221, 205. Atlanta still in the hard point, but they're lacking on numbers. Pred trying to find this last player on the inside, but Simp's pre-fire perfect. Kenny with the trade. We're still going 50-50 on the backside of the hill.
It's an all-out mix in towards the backside of the Palace. Whoever wins this next set of fights is going to get it done. It's all-out trades as well, but now it's only Shotzzy in towards the HP. Everyone else on the side of Atlanta FaZe are there, but they can no longer win it on this hard point. If you are OpTic Texas, you are forced to make a decision. Do we continue to apply pressure? And with all those kills going in favor of Atlanta FaZe, you are forced to now chalk it up. It has to be a P1 victory.
Oh, look at the aggressive positioning, though, from Shotzzy. He can still try to hit this, get extra timer.
It's a 1v1.
It's a 1v1 on the old time, but the pistol doesn't work out. So now we got a 3v3 over at New. Just call what it is. Tie game. Atlanta on rotation, finding kills, but it's a pinstripe kill feed before the hard point opens.
And they're winning the trade fights. Only 10 seconds left. Can they come out on top? OpTic are currently in it. It has to be perfect from this point on.
Atlanta spawning all over the map. 239, 239. FaZe with a couple of key eliminations. Here comes Cellium from the front. Kenny!
Said it before the series started. In those clutch moments, Atlanta FaZe usually find a way to get it done. But they were just not ready. They were not ready for the MCW pressure that Kenny just put on them in the cafe. He finds 3 in those final moments, up close and personal, to hold down that hard point to the T. OpTic Texas trading blow for blow again. It was almost the same exact scoreline we saw last week online, but at this time, it's OpTic coming out on top, and now we got a game 5.
Unreal stuff. I mean, this is literally the definition of mixy. Atlanta spawning all over the map, and this is just flat out who's got the gunny, who's got the reads, because at this moment, FaZe are looking like they're going to break without question.
It's a 2v4. They take down Dashy, so now it's all on Kenny. The fact that he walks away with 3, eventually his teammates get back into the play, and then gets another cutoff kill onto Cellium. A 2v4 at that cafe. It has to be better traded if you are Atlanta FaZe, but that's Kenny right there, showing why he's a world champion.
Unreal stuff, man. Woo! We're loving it here in Boston. And the fun thing about this is not only do we get essentially what is this, a immediate rubber match on the invasion hardpoint, we're going into a map 5 search where just throw away the stats. This is just who wants it more, it feels like, as we take a look at the game flow.
Man, it was so back and forth. Obviously, you see OpTic Texas, when it got to that P5 hill, they were able to pull away. They chained it to a little bit of time in towards P1, but when they really started to pull away was that P2 HP. They held it for a full 45 seconds, and then at that point, you force Atlanta FaZe to hit that rotation. They respond in towards the barbershop hill, but then when you get towards Treehouse, it was an all-out mix fest. Neither squad could win at that HP, and then it became an all-out mix fest in towards Palace. I've never seen so many people on that side of the map and not anybody else.
Unreal stuff. Let's take a breath, because we got a map 5, high-rise search and destroy. This is another little monkey wrench thrown into the veto process for OpTic. We'll talk about it on the backside of the break, but don't you go anywhere. You got nowhere else you want to be on a Saturday. OpTic and FaZe tied up in a good one as we head to map number 5. We'll be back at the backside of the break.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL.
to Boston and Major 1, and there has been no shortage of drama to this point in our second match of the day. FaZe and OpTic heading to a map number 5. Jay, talk to me, brother.
It's been a straight banger of a series, man. Like, if you think about how it's all played out, OpTic taking 2 HPs versus a team in Atlanta FaZe who were basically undefeated, probably with a couple mishaps when they trying out a couple maps, but they have been able to ice up at the end of these HPs. And as we get into the game 5, I got a whole bunch of stats in front of me, but none of these stuff matters. It all comes down to who wants it more in this game number 5.
The thing about it is we talked about FaZe and their clutch ability and hardpoint. That statistic does echo into game 5 situations, and a lot of it by way of Simp. But a high rise has been very unpredictable search and destroy wise, and Pred kicks us off for first blood.
Big first kill to shut down aBeZy as well. You know, he's one of the aggressors on the map, so already in the man advantage are OpTic Texas. We know how difficult it is to even work a bomb plant over towards A, so they have Shotzzy in position playing around B. It's still a 4v4. Did he actually kill him?
I thought he did.
aBeZy die?
I mean, I saw it in the kill feed, and okay.
Okay.
Dude, I was waiting for you to say something, because I thought I was losing my mind. I was like, surely we saw the kill. Kenny's got a chuckle about that. Looks like FaZe are also smiling about whatever may have happened.
Yeah, you take that, though, if you're Atlanta FaZe. You know, 10 seconds into the round, you get first blooded. I come back to life. Oh, it's definitely wrong. We got to hit the reset. But if this game 5 is going to have anything in store for us based off of map number 2, this is a map that OpTic Texas haven't played since their very first league match, the entire season, and they lost it all the way in round 11 versus the Subliners. It's basically like the same thing they did in map number 1 by playing a sub base, throwing Atlanta FaZe off guard. So now, with them playing on this map, obviously they've been putting in practice. They got reps on it. They know exactly what they need to set up. Just got to make sure you're ready for those mid-round adjustments from Atlanta.
Yep, and again, game 5 is not a stranger to either of these two teams at this point. And I think the bigger thing about it, and we already kind of mentioned it once, we'll just hammer it home again. Game 5 has been perfect so far for Atlanta. 12-4 overall when it comes to game 5. So they've not only gotten wins, they've also done it very convincingly.
Yeah, they're only sitting at 2-0. That means every other team that they've played, either 3-1 or 3-0, they are not making it to this game 5 because they usually find success at least in one of the respawns, other than that S&D early on into the series. But if you are OpTic Texas, the one game 5 you did lose was all the way in the beginning of the season. If you are Atlanta FaZe, there's no way in hell you're watching that VOD and thinking they're going to come out and play the same exact way that they were versus the Subliners. Just another mind game out of OpTic.
Even if you even think that Atlanta was sitting here saying, yeah, OpTic is going to put high rise into their map pool. I mean, like you mentioned, they hadn't played it since all the way back in week number 1. That was more than a month ago at this point. So yeah, lots of mystery built into the prize picks here, I think, just generally towards how OpTic have set themselves up in this series. So yeah, it just comes down to, we saw it work out for them on sub base. Can they find the same success? And another mystery pick here at the high rise.
So far in this series, at least the last couple of maps, Pred has really been the guy when you talk about the slang for this OpTic Texas roster. He's always going to put himself in a position to win those one-on-one, those crucial one-on-ones, and he even got it before the reset happened.
Yeah.
We're on the first ball,
so we think.
easy. So you have to make sure if you are Pred, you're not losing that confidence. You're keeping that up because that aggression play, that is why this OpTic Texas roster picked you up to do exactly what you do.
And the big thing about it, and we have to kind of go back to what we were talking about in the map too, is OpTic have been great at finding first bloods offensively.
Yeah.
But looking at their break off in that first round on defense, everything was very passive. Read the information first. Don't get caught by a surprise. That could be a huge key for them trying to kind of counteract, which has been another great statistic for Atlanta, which is their own offensive first bloods. Let's just try to at least 50-50 those, it looks like.
Especially on a map like High Rise. You can see everything. You can cover every single angle besides that underground, but you're most likely going to have one of your SMGs roaming around there. So just want to make sure you're spreading the map, but not fully committing, because it's very difficult on the attacking side to work one of these bomb plants. It's usually going to go down over towards B, but if you lose those key gunfights, that's what eventually opens up that A site. So OpTic just got to stay ahead of that first blood.
Yep, love to hear it, love to see it. Still looking for our players to load on in, and there's not a lot, again, for us to go off of, just because not only is it OpTic's situation of having played this map sits all the way back in week 1, but this is also not a, I won't say unfamiliar map to FaZe, but it hasn't been a staple of their search and destroy.
It definitely has not been a staple as well for Atlanta FaZe, because you think about all the other S&Ds. This is the only S&D that they are currently 1-1 on. Every other S&D, they are undefeated. They only have one auto veto, and that's Terminal. Let's get that out the way. They got caught off guard with this high rise, so hopefully they are prepared for what OpTic have in store for them And I think it's time for us to step away from the series, man. You know how many storylines we have in this one?
Dude.
We're talking about Drazah and Kenny going up against each other. They were world champions together, and now they're facing off for a chance to make it to a top 3. They couldn't get any better.
No, not at all. Woo-wee. And just to get, we want to zoom out a little bit further than that. We've got decades of history between these two organizations, but a 1.82 KD for Cellium continues just to blow everyone else out of the water. Okay, so back into the restart. We saw off the break off last time around, OpTic stayed very passive, looking for defensive information first, and it looks like they're kind of doing the exact same thing here once again.
Yeah, not aBeZy though. aBeZy's not going to that blue corner to get first blooded. They're going to play it nice and slow on the backside of that top catwalk. But OpTic Texas with no trophy systems, you don't want to get pre-nade. You want to play the back of your spawn. Just try to get a read of what Atlanta are doing.
And it looked like Kenny did actually scout Cell over towards those right windows, prospectively for OpTic. So if he gets the call saying, hey, if Cell's playing on an island, this very well may be kind of a show that Atlanta are looking to go to A.
And Simp was the bomb carrier as well. He actually drops the bomb. He said, I'm going to take mid-map control. And he's slowly working his way up through middle. Are OpTic going to be prepared for it? No, at least it's Simp finding the first blood.
What a commitment from Simp. aBeZy now pushing forward to join him. Bomb collected on the way over. 4v2 situation. Dashy a couple of shots into Simp, but still just such a tough gunfight to take. And Simp now looking for the ace. Shotzzy gets a look at him. Topside heli. Simp able to find the intel and a lot of damage. Can't confirm the kill. And eventually an explosion does take him out of the picture. A flawless round for Atlanta.
And that's why Simp is one of the GOATs of Call of Duty. We now have that feature where you're able to drop that bomb, and he realizes, I'm gaining all this information through the middle of the map. No one is watching over this lane. He drops the bomb on the backside of the steps, works right up the middle, finds the first kill, finds the second, and then also finds the third. Almost earns the ace, but Ravenine isn't that good from distance. Atlanta FaZe dominant in their first attack.
This very well may be a search and destroy that is determined by who finds the most amount of success offensively.
Yeah.
Just due to the statistics we're already kind of laying out, OpTic has been great with first bloods on this side of the bomb. 2-2 split. Pred looking to get aggressive through the A side of the map, just over towards his heli stairs. Nades tag Simp, so he's stuck in the elevator at the moment.
And whenever you throw nades over this right street, you're thinking backward praying. You're probably not thinking inside the elevator. So Simp is in a crucial position. He has Drazah watching over him. Gets some bad timing, but at least something blows up onto someone. Dashy's a little hurt.
Everything takes a pause, under 60 seconds to play. Dashy taking extra steps forward, and now you look to Simp. Do they know that he's still stuck in this position? Or is he even stuck in this position? Shotzzy first, couple of shots good. Simp now known. Pred over the middle, cannot find the elimination. Doesn't get baited by the smoke, but he can also see that there's no exit here, so they should know that Simp's still in position, but it doesn't make a difference. Oh, it's filthy. Dashy for the trade, bomb down, 35 to go.
It's a big kill to take down Simp. No cruise missile is going to be earned, but look at the players from Atlanta FaZe double committing on the deep flank. Right behind Kenny. He's not going to have an idea, but the bomb does go down. 1v2 left up to Kenny.
Oh, his first shots don't land, though. So now it's Cellium and Drazah at range, looking to double up and take Kenny off this top heli position. 30 seconds for the defuse. Cell tagged up, but staying alive. Nade is still here. This is going to be cooked up. There's no trophy systems on the zone. That's enough for damage to be confirmed. Kenny has to check this. No one's on. Everything resets. Now the next hit, not gonna work out. Drazah and Cellium push the envelope, and that's enough for the kill in 2 straight rounds for Atlanta.
That's just another round from Simp. Right off the rip, he gets naded on that B street. He's tucked in towards the elevator, but you get Drazah to put down a couple shots. You get them to overextend in towards the site. Simp finds the first, and then finds that second onto Pred before he is traded. Once he's finding all those kills, you know that OpTic have to put a lot of focus on that side of the map, and that's what opens up that deep pinch from Atlanta FaZe. 2-man, 2v2. You take the guy off site, and then you just slowly work to find that kill onto Kenny. 2 rounds in a row now for Atlanta.
And a lot of it coming from Simp's hand.
Yeah.
5-in-1 start for him. That is a problem that OpTic will need to find solutions to and find them quickly. Do not want to go down 0-3. An important round here for Texas fans trying to get themselves on the board. Offensively, Atlanta looking to go with a little bit more pace and tempo, and this is heading over towards the underground with an idea that this could still be a stretch play towards B with the amount of AR support behind it.
We're just a corner away from a potential fight between Shotzzy and Simp. He's going back and forth, but Drazah now gains that information. Him and Simp gonna try to team up to take down Shotzzy, but holding the nade, Shotzy's able to catch him. First blood OpTic.
Good push forward for Drazah, confirms the trade. He's also on 3 in a row. aBeZy collecting the bomb. 3v3. Still a lot of mystery, though, to what the Texas setup looks like until Dashy drops to the AR of Cellium. Now Kenny has to find 2, but only collects the first. Pred left alive in a 1v2.
And if you're Pred, you're in the perfect position to watch both sides. You're not going to be able to sneak a bomb. You know Atlanta FaZe, they're going to wait. Try to see if he tries to be the aggressor. It's already 15 seconds knocked off the game clock. He's trying to realize, like, Pred is coming from somewhere.
Yep. But little did they know, Pred's not coming from anywhere. He's just still tucked in a corner. But the longer this is taken to develop, the more it's taken away Pred's ability to check over towards A, under threat of what could still be coming through elevator side. So now the plant's starting to come through. Get down, Mr. President. Cellium's watching over aBeZy. Bomb will get planted. Dead silence pop, and the 1v2 continues.
In the 1v2, Pred's going to revamp his base, and I don't know if Atlanta FaZe is going to put themselves in a position to at least read it. Could potentially find the first kill onto aBeZy. No, he does not. Too easy for aBeZy. Secures the one-on-one. That's 3 rounds in a row for Atlanta FaZe.
And it's just the way that FaZe creates so much gosh darn doubt. You get 2 kills over towards Heli's side. Pred says, I've still got the ability to make sure there's no quick plant, but what, 30 seconds goes by and Atlanta doesn't make a whisper across the map. Pred has to be so worried about everything that eventually the play towards A does not fully get checked. So 3-0 the count. And now again, we're still looking for first bloods to come through and find success. OpTic have 2 first kills, but no rounds to follow up with that.
Yeah, you gotta start leading the W's when you get in that first kill. Now they're on the attack. You cannot go down 4-0. You need to have a response here. Big stun, gets the info in towards bottom blue. Actually, the propane blows up aBeZy. Man advantage in favor of OpTic.
Shotzzy in trouble, but there is no follow-up. Actually, it's Pred who forces the engagement, and that will still stay numbers with OpTic as Dashy and Kenny will combine for some team shots on to Drazah. Now Cell, once again left in 1v3. Good shots to Dashy, but such a tough angle, and OpTic Texas get on the board.
Yeah, well, sometimes you get the first blood, you don't lead to wins. This time aBeZy takes care of himself, and that leads to a W. You know that he's one of the aggressors on the map, and right there in that final gunfight, Pred gives the info to Dashy. He's able to prone towards the top of the propane, find that kill, and finally OpTic have a round on the board. And attack at that, but now they need to have a response on defense.
They've been good at finding first kills again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just to re-hit it, just have to turn that into successful plays, because like we mentioned in map number 2, Atlanta's ability to play off the objective is rivaled by nearly no one in the league at the moment. Nades over the top of Heli. Lots of early focus for Atlanta over towards the front side at A. It's matched, though, by OpTic. Everything stays neutral, but look at the aggressive route being hit by Pred.
This is the pace change right here for OpTic Texas. You already have Pred behind enemy lines. He has no dead silence. Has not yet been earned. But he should find a freebie onto Cellium. The first blood goes to the Predator. Time to get out with your life. Be a nuisance as long as you can.
Really smart heads-up play here from Pred just to not stay where he was and just help the defense out where it matters most, right from the front doors. And you can see, I mean, the bomb for Simp, he's like, I got to make sure office is completely clear. You don't want to give up mid-map, though. So, I mean, it just feels so desperate already because of that first blood.
Yeah, just in a situation where we have to play for Pred. We can't allow the timing of us not watching our pitch and him making a play happen.
Well
and that's exactly what it is. Finds that kill onto Simp. It's now all left up to aBeZy and Drazah, but aBeZy still has one in front of him.
Whoa, nice shots out of aBeZy. From a 3v2 to a 2v2. Bomb collected, or at least it should be by aBeZy. Drazah working on the opposite side of the map. Can he find anyone by surprise? Top Heli. He's got Kenny just behind the tail of the Heli. So now it's just down to Dashy for the 1v2. Has aBeZy right under his nose, looking for Drazah to confirm. First battle goes the way of Dashy. 1v1. It's got to go by way of the kill. There's not enough time to collect and get the plant. So here comes Drazah. Not able to expect Dashy. And a 1v2 clutch for Bruce.
That's just a perfect read right there from Dashy. Only 13 seconds remaining on that game clock. He wins the one-on-one versus aBeZy, and then Drazah knows that bomb is going to be down towards the back right window. I do not have enough time to commit towards the bomb plant. But no sweat off the brow for Mr. Brucey. He's been in that situation multiple times. He comes out on top again. 2 rounds in a row for OpTic.
And the energy in the building has been reset. Can it be a 3 in a row on the other side here for Texas? Back to the offense they go. And think of the mind games after Pred's first blood came through the last round underneath. But this time, it's just straight bull rush in towards A. And Pred will be taken down by aBeZy's explosion. Opening first blood goes the way of FaZe.
Big first kill from aBeZy. Knew that Pred was applying pressure through bottom blue. That propane has a really big blast radius. So it gets the first kill, but now you have Shotzzy in position. Time after time again in a playmaker spot with that smoke in hand behind enemy lines.
This is bold with the bomb.
Yeah.
But Cell again. I mean, at this point, he's got to start getting frustrated. Like, dude, are they just always going to be in the back line? What the hell gives? So now from a 3v2, we start to work forward for maybe even a plant. Kenny seen down low with Simp, able to find the trade, but the bomb's going to get planted. Shotzzy now for a 1v2. He does get away, smokes himself out, but oh boy, this is, wow, okay. This is bold as well.
Okay, Shotzzy trying to make it happen with the movement. It's going to be very difficult for Atlanta FaZe to read this positioning, but I think Simp was able to just spot him just now. So now positioning known with only 25 seconds left. Shotzzy has to make it happen.
Glass broken. Shotzzy getting the sound cue from that. Here's the check from the front. Oh my goodness. Now to the 1v1. Tries to go prone, but Simp quick to follow up. Make sure there is no finesse, no exit. And that's the streak broken. FaZe up to a 4-2 tally.
It's just that split second of timing right there. That split second. If Shotzzy would have made it to that back window, Atlanta FaZe are probably still in a situation where they're trying to locate where he is. But once you sniff him out, first person gets a one-shot. Simp instantly there for the trade. Atlanta FaZe able to stop the bleeding. Now up 4-2. Clutch up on the defensive end. It was all in the back of another first blood of aBeZy.
And how much do these last two rounds start to affect Cellium's positioning? With him being caught by surprise twice in a row, does he try to get maybe a little bit further forward? Does that lead to possible advantages for OpTic or for FaZe? Do you maybe just help him out a little bit more and say, hey, just make sure you watch your back 30 seconds into the round?
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to put someone in a position to make sure no one sneaks through their underground door, and you're still going to have Cellium playing slow and towards the back base. He's trying to give cover fire to his teammates, but that bomb does get dropped by Simp again. He's feeling something. He sees something. He's going for the attack, puts down a couple shots, but doesn't lead to the first blood.
These two defensive players for OpTic are kind of having to make individual plays happen. Yeah, Dashy getting cut at range means that Shotzzy's got to go rogue a little bit here. Has Drazah from behind, slips away, no trade to be found as of yet. The smoke goes off the map, but Simp still stuck over towards elevator, does get traded out, will continue into a 2v2. Shotzzy with the pistol, not able to fend off the trade, and now it's down to Kenny, nowhere to go. He'll drop, and FaZe put themselves on series point.
FaZe are just waiting, man. They are waiting for OpTic Texas to make the first move. And they are picking them apart every time after that. Simp does a gun through that elevator side. Least finds a trade on the first, but every single time Atlanta FaZe are in an engagement, you best believe someone is always right behind for a trade. That's exactly what that round was. Atlanta FaZe at game point.
And it's still a map so far that has been OpTic Texas finding most of the first bloods. Just not able to convert, and that's got to feel so frustrating. So over to what has to be 4 rounds in a row. FaZe, they have so much wiggle room. They can make some weird plays happen here. They've got such a cushion. And this time it will be a little bit of a double stack immediately onto the B site. OpTic taking their time, still working over towards top propane.
Yeah, they're a lot more aggressive though up the B street this time around. No trophy hit markers towards the deep left street. Drazah getting some information with player being aggressive in towards bottom blue, but it's already 30 seconds wiped off the clock. I have a feeling that this is where the pressure's coming from.
Look at this setup for the rest of the defense from Atlanta. They're so far back. Dashy's seen on the cross back, but the first blood good. Simp looking for the trade. Does he get caught? Maybe trying to get a little bit too expensive on this. No, not the case. Finally trades are out, but it's again, levels the terms to a 2v2.
It's 2v2, and look at Pred again. Pops that dead silence as Cellium finds that nade onto Shotzzy. By the time he gets here, you already see Drazah in a position to potentially play for it. Dead silence is about to run out. 30 seconds left.
And he's stuck. Drazah seen, damage in, kill not here yet. Pred will have a chance to get off the regen. Bomb collected, 20 seconds to go. Doesn't quite see Cell on the heli steps. That will be enough information, but he falls off. Now time is an issue. Pred's got to go, and he's going to try to take this the other direction. Atlanta wrapping the other way, though, may lead to an opportunity for a plant to come out. No, the time will likely expire. He's got to stick for it, and Cell will punish. It goes all the way to 5, but once we got there, Atlanta, no worries, no problems. A comfortable 6-2 as Atlanta will move on, sending OpTic down to the elimination bracket.
S&D wins you championships, man. S&D wins you battles versus the top teams. And with Atlanta FaZe going 2-0 in this series in that mode, it leads to the Game 5 victory. It was just a flawless Game 5 plan, man.
Really?
We're talking about a high rise that they barely play as a unit. That's now the 3rd time that they have played it. It was just every single time. You could just tell they were reading the map so well that Simp was dropping the bomb so he could push up the middle of the map to make plays happen. OpTic, which is a little bit too spread apart, and when you're too spread, when you go in those first engagements, Atlanta FaZe always got someone right behind them for a trade. It was just better in that regard, and that leads to a 6-2 victory. Atlanta move on.
Yeah, in the first blood tally, again, you look at it and you say, okay, OpTic should be in good positions.
Yeah.
But the one thing about this FaZe team is it doesn't matter what the number situation is. They find ways to clutch up 2v2s, 2v3s so often. They, again, use those non-traded kill percentage numbers that you're talking about just to finesse, stay alive, confirm kills, and then get out of dodge to make sure you have a chance in rounds that don't look particularly good in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, in the beginning,